Every older grappler's favorite position, bottom side. And I was there last night. Black belt Chris, aka the human fire hydrant with a black belt, had me down there for quite a while. Some of these fundamentals that Jean Jacques going to go over, these concepts, I use them a lot, especially since I've gotten older. The reason being, they're just efficient. So let's get into it.
Is this, which that gives me a lot of easy access to his neck. But the challenge we have is that even if my arm is out, I don't want to be high this much, because now he can wrap around my elbow, even with the other hand. Yeah, you see my arm's under control. I want to make sure my elbow is below his shoulder. Because now
what he's talking about there, people just glance or graze over that really quick. His left arm, he's talking about actually staying a little bit more flat and not up on a hip, because he wants to keep his left arm down, not making it available to his opponent. Pay attention to that, what he's going to do from there.
The control he tries to do, hold my arm, it's hard for him because my body weight. The challenge, and I want you to understand, is if I try to move this way, my frame is stuck with him. And for more than I try to create the space, he controls my shoulder. I want to make sure you understand, I always keep that leg touching his leg.
That's important. What I see happen often is people miss that too. They get really lazy with their right leg. They'll even put their foot on their knee and just act like they're having a cup of coffee, maybe a cigarette. Who the fuck knows? But we don't do that. If anything, to put it in your brain, drive that right leg into your training partner and get your right forearm into the hip and actually kind of pinch them together. That's one thing that I do. Jean Jacques doesn't talk about it, but I'll pinch with my arm and my knee there. It actually gives me a little bit more space when I hip out.
Because if his leg is in front of my leg, mount. You see what happened? I want to make sure that if I'm in contact, mount again. See what happened? It's very hard for him. But the challenge now is I try to move the hip and I'm going against his arm. No, first thing I do, you see my hands? I was in a karate chop. Never push the hip. I'm actually moving head here this way. Follow me with your head. You see what happened? Head.
The other thing to keep in mind, kind of a mental flip that we do, is that karate chop motion that he has. I see a lot of guys, they'll insert that frame and they'll actually try to move the person back. They'll try to muscle him with their arm. You're just trying to hold his hip in place and move your head away. I know it sounds a little elementary. However, it's something natural in us when we're trying to get away. We want to push someone back. This time, think about holding them in place and moving yourself away.
Now, hip. Now I create this space, and again, I touch my elbow on my knee. And once I have that, there's no way for him to regain control. I can stretch my body and still even control his arm. But the key now is my head will be the first one. Cross face, instead of the hip, the head. Now the hip. You change the angle by 5 minutes in the clock. Here I'm stuck. Here, look. Even if he tries to hold me on, now look. Here we go. All right?
The interesting thing right here, when you're in a live roll, what I've experienced is my training partner, when I move my head away, the first thing they do is they bring their left leg forward to crawl after you. When they do that, they're leaving the right leg behind. So guess what? You don't need a huge hip movement to get your knee inserted. It is a little bit of timing, so if you miss it, it's okay. You just hip out a little bit more, but then you can insert the knee. That's today's video, guys. If you want, I got Jean Jacques' full video in the description. If you have questions, drop them in the comments, or if you want to talk shit, that's always appreciated. Give a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for checking it out. We'll see you at the next one.